nephron, that is structural and functional unit of kidney. First we'll understand its location in the kidney. In kidney there are two types of nephron. One is cortical nephron and the other is juxtamedullary. Cortical nephron, as the name itself suggests, is located in the cortex region, whereas juxtamedullary has its tube-like structure extended in the pyramid. So there are two types, cortical, juxtamedullary. Cortical in the cortex region, whereas the juxtamedullary has the tubules extended in the medullary region. This basic structure of nephron is approximately 2 cm in size. There are 10 like such nephrons in each kidney. They carry out filtration, that is removal of nitrogenous waste from the body at a very minute level, and the process is termed as ultrafiltration. Now how this process occurs within the nephron, that we'll be studying in detail. Nephron basically consists of a double membrane cup-like structure called as Bowman's capsule. It is extended into a tube-like structure. Now the point where the Bowman's capsule opens into proximal tubule is termed as neck region. The tubule is known as proximal convoluted tubule. Or PCT in short. After this tubule, we have a thin tube extending forming a U-shaped structure. This is known as Henle's loop or loop of Henle. Following it, we have again a broader diameter tubule, which is called as distal convoluted tubule. Or DCT. This DCT opens in the collecting duct. So this is collecting duct. In Bowman's capsule, we have capillaries arranged, which is known as glomerulus. The capillaries entering are given name afferent arteriole. Whereas the one which are existing are given name efferent arteriole. Let's first discuss this much once again. The afferent arteriole will be entering, forming a bunch of capillary within the Bowman's capsule, which is known as glomerulus. It will be coming out in the form of efferent arteriole. You can remember E for exit, E for afferent. This is Bowman's capsule, cup-shaped structure. It opens into tubular structure called as proximal convoluted tubule. Later on, that opens into a narrow U-shaped tube, Henle's loop, followed by distal convoluted tubule and the collecting duct. Now what does this represent? This represents there are many such nephrons connected with a single collecting duct. One more thing, the junction, as I told you earlier also, where the Bowman's capsule opens in the tubule is called neck region. So that is about the structure of nephron. Now, after studying the structure, let's understand how the filtration of the blood occurs. Blood once starts entering into the tube-like structures, that is glomerulus, is filtered out through the Bowman's capsule. Bowman's capsule has specialized cells called podocytes, which has space in between through which the blood filters out. Now, when the blood filters out, there is only highly weight or high molecular weight protein left on the other side. Rest all is passed on into the Bowman's capsule and forwarded to the tubule. So now our filtrate contains everything which is present in the blood except the large weight molecules of protein as well as few blood cells. Now, as we know, there are many important components in the blood. We cannot afford to lose them by excretion. So here, that is in PCT, 80% of reabsorption occurs. Reabsorption includes reabsorption of amino acids, glucose, electrolytes like bicarbonate, sodium, etc., and small amount of water. After the reabsorption, it enters Henle's loop. In the Henle's loop, ionic balance is maintained, that is, here it is water permeable and here it is salt permeable. Ascending and descending loop will be maintaining basically ionic balance of the filtrate. Later on, it is carried forward to distal convoluted tubule, whereby if some electrolyte are left off or some important component is left off for reabsorption is reabsorbed along with small amount of water. So finally in the collecting duct, whatever enters is precisely nitrogenous waste plus small amount of water. The amount of water is decided under the control of hormone called aldosterone, as well as the presence of amount of water in the body. So one can excrete dilute as well as concentrated urine, which we will be discussing in the next session about formation of concentrated and dilute urine. Now once the urine has been formed, here it is passing out from the collecting duct. Now from collecting duct, it will be entering into the duct of Belleni, which is situated in the pelvic region, and then finally it will open into the ureter and will be excreted out via urethra. So let's quickly recap. From the glomerulus, the filtrate enters the proximal tubule. 80% of the important components are reabsorbed here. In the loop of Henle, ionic balance is maintained. Then it enters distal convoluted tubule, whereby again if any electrolyte or important component is missed in reabsorption, is reabsorbed again. Then it enters collecting duct. From collecting duct, it enters into duct of Belleni, which opens finally into ureter. From ureter, it will move to bladder and will be ejected out through urethra. So that is overall process how the urine formation occurs. Now the question is, how much urine is formed in a day, or how much urine is excreted by a normal adult human per day? I hope by next session you will be getting the answer of these questions. We will be discussing the answer in the next session. Thank you.